I read about like half of those. Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you are doing well. So I wanted to talk about my relationship with books and reading a little bit. So when I was little, I enjoyed reading. I liked going into the library, I liked checking out books, and I thought it was just generally like fun. And then high school rolls around, and then you have to read. And then for me, it just became this thing that was like not so fun anymore. And that was just my personal experience. I still liked the stories and I liked reading, but yeah, I think reading just became this thing where I had to read a certain amount of pages or analyze them or write an essay about them. And so like the act of reading was not so much for enjoyment anymore as it was like, let's get an A on that essay so I can go to college. Which honestly kind of really sucks because I think reading should be fun. And I was definitely reading for the wrong reasons throughout high school and then college. So when I graduated college and reading was no longer mandatory, I realized that there were still a lot of books that I wanted to read. There were these worlds that I wanted to be transported to and lessons that I wanted to learn that you can only learn through books. But when I started reading them, I realized that I was paying much more attention to the page number than the actual content itself. And then I was like, oh no, I don't know how to read anymore. And when I mean read, I mean like read for leisure and actually read, not read to do this other thing. So some of these books that I really wanted to read were like big beefy books that I thought were like rite of passage, like big classics or self-help books. But then I would buy them and I would never touch them, or I would not get past like the 10th page and just give up because I was like, I can't do it. I can't read the page count. This is too hard. I don't know how to like read anymore. Also, granted, I was just really never that good at reading comprehension. That was like my lowest SAT score. And so then when I realized like there was no way that I was going to be able to read Pride and Prejudice for fun, I was like, you know, maybe I should just start with something really, really easy. So while I didn't go full green eggs and ham, I started by reading a lot of young adult novels. But yeah, it was great because I feel like there were some really cool young adult novels at the time. Perks of Being a Wallflower just turned into a movie, so I read that. I read The Fault in Our Stars because that was also becoming a movie, and then I started reading a bunch of John Green's other young adult novels. I thought about reading Twilight, but I was like, I've read it before, and I wasn't gonna stoop to that level quite yet. I mean, it's okay. Twilight's fine. Twilight's a very engaging novel, and like people like vampires and stuff, right? And I was kind of like, but these are books that like middle schoolers and high schoolers read, and you're like a college educated adult now. But I realized that these books were like super engaging and I would get through them like within a week. And I realize now that young adult novels get a little bit of a bad rep because of people like me who are too prideful to read them. Yeah, like young adult novels actually really did help me to get back into reading because I remembered how awesome it is to feel like you are so engrossed in a story and you have so much of a personal attachment to one or more characters. The best part of it all is that it transports me back to when I was in high school, and that's kind of a cool feeling. Going back to that time when you were like, who am I? And what am I supposed to do in life? And what do I even like? And trying to just make sense of yourself and the world. It's a cool time to kind of revisit and think about because I have a lot more answers now. So since then, I feel like I regained my love for reading and also just like a sense of patience to get through a whole story. And now I'm realizing what kinds of books I really like now that I feel like I'm primed to read a lot of other books. I tend to gravitate towards fiction, novels, and memoirs. I think fiction's great because there are like whole worlds that maybe you couldn't even imagine, but other authors did. And diving into that and getting a peek into how they imagine things is like, I don't know, that's so cool. And the thing I really like about memoirs is that like they're stories of real people, which is like some of these stories I'm just like, how? Like you can't make this stuff up. And so it's even more powerful that way. Honestly, this is like a journey that I didn't expect to go on as an adult, but it makes a lot of sense after like how I saw reading as an activity through high school and college and just rediscovering what that means for me as an adult. And like I think there's a lot of things that have changed about me since like high school, college, and now me as an adult. So yeah, let me know if you'd like to know more about these things, about just like adulting, I guess, and what it's been like to be an adult for the last couple of years. Leave it in the comments down below. So that's been my journey for how I learned how to read again. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos. I wanted to say thank you to a sponsor that is very fitting for this video, which is Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and I think it's pretty cool that there's a service like this nowadays that basically turns books into like a podcast that you can listen to, so reading can be a little bit more of a passive activity. One of the young adult novels that I've actually recently read that I really recommend is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. It's a story about a teenage girl who's living with OCD, and it is so good. And I highly recommend it, and so you can go listen to that on Audible right now. They also have a pretty cool offer going on right now, which is if you're an Amazon Prime member, which I am, and you should be too because it's so convenient, you can get Audible for $4.95 a month for 3 months and then $14.95 a month after that. So it's basically like getting 3 months for the price of 1. So head on over to audible.com/mayuko or text Mayuko to 500-500 to get started. This is your cue to go to audible.com/mayuko or text Mayuko to 500-500 to get started. Cool, I think that's it for today, so I'll see you next time. Bye!